Do you actually need an introduction for the TOK exhibition? I'm going to show you when it's good and when it's bad. I'm going to give you some examples. Welcome to Get an A in TOK. Okay, so first of all, if you need extra help, this video is brought to you by me. I do some tutoring on Fiverr.com. If you want some help, you want some feedback, if you want me to write your essay, I will not, but I would love to get in touch with you. So go ahead and check the links below, check the links up on the side, and I can help you out. But what I'm going to talk about today is this super controversial thing, which is asking if we need to have an introduction in the TOK exhibition. Now here's what is weird. In the TOK exhibition, they actually say that introductions are not required. This is not an essay. I'm going to say that a bunch. This is not an essay. But then, what does the IB do? Their number one example has an introduction. Let's take a look at that introduction and see why a score of a 10, which I have a video about, you can check the card up there, which a score of a 10 has this introduction. Let's take a look at it. Okay, so this is a score. This is not a score 10 introduction, but this introduction was on a score of a 10. That's very important. I'll explain that. So it says the TOK prompt I have selected is what challenges are raised by the dissemination and or communication of knowledge. This exhibition explores the prompt by reflecting on knowledge and language, and more specifically on whether subtext and connotation always create confusion rather than help to communicate knowledge. The language we use in our everyday lives can often be interpreted many different ways by many different people, depending on their cultural background, beliefs, ideologies, affiliations, personal experiences, etc. In particular, it seems that subtext and connotation can be particularly challenging as they are often only recognized British spelling, by people that share some particular knowledge or experiences. And it seems that they can easily be interpreted very differently by different people, which can cause confusion and hinder communication of knowledge. Wow, that was really long looking at it. That is 126 words right there. If you're doing a paper that only lets you do 950 words, this is a huge hindrance. And so while I think this introduction is fine for an introduction, I don't think that it's good to think that they scored a 10, a perfect score, because of this introduction. If you watch my other video, we can see that this was just really good. Everything about this was really good. It was focused, it was knowledgeable, but the introduction may not have had much to do with that. So my first lesson would just be this. Don't correlate having an introduction to getting a certain score. But here is what is good. And oh man, starting to thunder in my house. That's cool. What they do here is it says the exhibition explores this prompt by reflecting on knowledge and language, more specifically on whether subtext and connotation always create confusion rather than help us to communicate knowledge. This is really good. And the reason this is good is this entire exhibition doesn't talk about things generally. Instead, what it does is it talks about things very specifically. Every single response focuses on subtext and focuses on connotation. And so what this introduction does in 2 sentences is says, hey, examiner, I'm going to focus on these 2 things with the theme of knowledge and language. So that would be my first lesson. If you are going to make an introduction, and I don't think you need to, but if you're going to do an introduction, make sure that it does these 2 things. Tell us which theme you're focusing on. Again, the IB says it's good to have a theme, but they don't require it. And then if you are taking a unique angle to it that is encompassing all 3 of your responses, then you can go ahead and do it. Now, what I would do with this, and you'll see this is going to happen a lot, what I would actually do is I would just delete all of this, because is it good? Yeah, but it's not adding to the exhibition. The exhibition is focused on objects. This is not focused on an object. Instead, this is the analysis that is going to happen later. So I would just throw it in later. Here's what the IB said about this introduction, but also about this response. They said, and this is official from the IB, this student has included an introduction to their work. It should be noticed, hold on one second, it should be noticed in yellow that this is not required, but students are free to include a short introduction if they wish to do so. In this case, the introduction is helpful as the student clearly identifies their selected prompt and theme and explains why they have focused particularly on issues of subtext and connotation. So if you are going to do the introduction, tell your theme and tell your optional, tell your focus. And this, the theme is knowledge and language, and then the ideas, the focus is subtext and connotation. Very good. Okay, now let's look at another introduction that was from a score of 8 out of 10 supplied by the IB. Okay, so here's what this one says. The TOK prompt I have selected is how might the context in which knowledge is presented influence whether it is accepted or rejected. I have decided to focus on this because information is constantly being gathered from a variety of sources to increase our knowledge and understanding about the past, present, and future, but only sometimes do people check whether the source the information has been gathered from is credible. The TOK prompt is relevant because it helps establish how credibility of information is different depending on the context it is presented in. Okay, this is fine, but first of all, here, just don't make this mistake. They are using the title against their word count. That is 16 words that they don't get to use, okay? So instead, first of all, cut all this out, make this the title, and then go like that. All right, you save 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 words, okay? So that's the first thing. Put the title at the top. Don't double the title. That makes no sense. Okay, secondly, I think the whole thing's worthless, to be honest. It's not that good. It doesn't tell us the theme. It doesn't tell us what they're going to be focusing on. It just discusses it. If this is an English paper, this totally works because English papers have to have an introduction. But for a TOK exhibition, honestly, here's what you do. Deleted. So it's just not necessary. You want to know what the IB said about this introduction? Nothing. They said nothing. They didn't even comment on the fact that it existed, which tells they don't care. This still got an A, so don't include one unless you're going to make it extremely focused, short, and specific. Do you hear the thunder? It's getting loud. Okay, so now what I'm going to do real quickly is I wrote 3 example introductions. One is bad, you can see it right here, and the others are good. Check out this bad example. In this TOK exhibition, I have specifically chosen the IA prompt that asks what is the relationship between personal experience and knowledge. Can you tell this is bad? This is connected with the core theme of theory of knowledge, which is knowledge and the knower. In the following 3 responses, I will analytically, oh, this is so bad, analytically discuss the 3 objects, which include a baseball bat, margarita pizza, I was hungry as I wrote this, and the iPad I bought on launch day. This is completely made up. These objects will help me explore the prompt and the relationship between my own personal experiences and knowledge in general. Okay, first of all, I wasted words on relisting the prompt in the introduction. Total waste. In this TOK exhibition, yeah, I know it's a TOK exhibition. You don't have to tell me. This is connected with the core theme. Why do you say core? Oh my gosh, Patrick, you're a terrible writer. We know you're in theory of knowledge. You can say this, okay? You can say you're using the core theme, knowledge and the knower. That's great. That's the first 4 words that are even valuable so far. Okay, in the following 3 responses, I will analytically oh, come on. We don't need you to sound smart. You do not need to do this. Don't introduce your objects. You don't even need to list what the object is. If it's a baseball, you can just say object 1, baseball, okay? And then these objects will help me explore the prompt. Well, yeah, that's the whole assignment, smarty. And the relationship between my own personal experiences and knowledge in general. Again, that's what the prompt is asking for. So literally, nothing in here except for these 4 yellow words is helpful. So honestly, just delete the whole thing. All right, you want to see some good examples? Let's do it. Okay, here is my good example. This exhibition will explore the relationship between personal experience and knowledge. By understanding the connection between, here's my focus, memory and language, I will examine how our past affects what we know in the present. Okay, this is so easy. I'm referring to the prompt here. I'm telling you what am I going to focus on here. And then I'm going to talk about the past and the present. Again, that's connecting with the idea of memory. And then the most important thing is I stop. This is only 32 words. This is totally fine. That's not going to prevent me from analyzing that much in the real responses. This is a good response, and this is a good introduction. Okay, here's another good introduction. This exhibition will explore whether or not new knowledge can change established values or beliefs. Focusing on the theme of knowledge and politics, I will discuss how novel problems in the post-truth age have both negatively and positively affected values and beliefs. Again, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, 2. Bring it up. Tell you what I'm focusing on. I'm talking about novel problems of the post-truth age And then I'm also going to say how they're negatively and positively affecting beliefs and values. Again, short, it tells you what the focuses are, brings up the theme, knowledge and politics, and then it stops. So if you want to do an introduction, do it. Just make sure it's short, it brings up the theme, and then it identifies the specific direction or focus that you're going to take. If you want help, you know where to get a hold of me, toktutoring.com. I got that domain for free, so I'm like, why not? You can connect with me on Fiverr. I will help you edit. I will give you feedback. I will talk to you on Zoom. You can hire me for that too. So get a hold of me. I hope that TOK sucks a little bit less than it used to. Have a great one. I'll see you next time.